This is a demo on modernizing variance analysis, basically reducing production time by approximately 83% and saving 60 hours in the year or 5 hours a month. And it's assuming around 50 to 60 GL codes are analyzed every month. So what a lot of companies are doing right now is using Excel, recalculating formulas every month, having inconsistent methodology and commentary, and finding unapproved spend too late. With my system, which is built in Python and output to Excel and includes LLM or AI commentary, you will basically just run the program and you will get a commentary that you can review. So right now, you're probably having commentary along the lines of marketing spend was higher this month because we ran some ads, travel went up compared to last month. You may have something better than that. But the ideal is to have a deterministic output. So along the lines of marketing variance is 76K over budget, or that's 58%, and it's driven by unapproved spend. And then Google Ads of 24K accounts for 28%, and there's an efficiency deterioration there, and there's also a volume impact. So that's the plan. So let's go straight into the tool right now. So here we are in the Excel file where the commentary is prepared and calculated. I'm starting off in the executive summary, and I've just analyzed marketing and COGS, and you can see in column G the commentary for both of them. It's a very high level commentary telling you that TechCrunch is the big explainer of the variance, and also Google Ads are explaining 24K of it because of a price increase of 28%. And then other items account for 22% of the variance. And then it splits the total efficiency and volume in the last sentence, and COGS works in the same way. This is all driven by the GL data, so I'll go straight to the GL tab. This data will be picked up from the ERP or accounting system, and the budget will be picked up from the budgeting system. And everything in here is all up to column J is basically from the ERP accounting or forecasting system. And so all of these need to be set up, this criteria in terms of drivers needs to be set up in the forecasting system. Column K is a flag. It's generated by the tool to highlight items, for example, that are unapproved, and it's driven by keywords in the description. So here you have without CFO approval. There's a number of words that would drive a tag into this column. And column L can be derived from the description, or it can be input at the time of invoice entry, one or the other. And then column M and N are just calculations. Then this tab here is where all the volume and efficiency variances are worked out. It's all formula driven, all generated by Python. Any favorable variances are highlighted in green, as you can see in cell I6, and then you've got a total variance and a variance percentage. Now I'll go back to the beginning again, the executive summary, and we can see here the executive summary is feeding from tab 3. And tab 3 basically has commentary. It's got 3 options for commentary. The Gen AI is the very first one. And again, this is for marketing and COGS in row 4 and 5. So Gen AI calculates a commentary, and the system also calculates a deterministic commentary. It will always be the same every month. It will change, of course, depending on the suppliers which are driving the variance. And then this is just what a human would write. And these can be compared just to ensure they're the same. And if the AI fails, you have the deterministic option to fall back on. Below here, we've got the breakdown for each line item. So I won't go through all of them. I'll just maybe go down to marketing, because we talked about digital and Google before. And you can see in here that AI has suggested scale volume, and I have done my own check on this. This is updated by me in yellow, and all of the AI suggestions match mine, and I've written commentary over here. And if the AI was down, you would have this system which could drive the front sheet. You could choose from here. And the AI analysis is all prepared in this section here. So that's really the file. I will now show you how we run the file. So just bear with me for a second. So here's the folder where my batch file is that I hit run. And you will see here there's a file. This is the file that the batch file will update, the one that's now at 1328. So when I run this program, you'll see it'll be probably 1329. So I'm going to run the file now. And here is the program having run and all the information and explaining you need to update tab 3. Well, you need to update it if the AI doesn't work, so you've got a backup plan. You can see up here where the file has updated. We've just run the program, so the time has changed. So now back to the demo slides. So here I talk about the system again, just explaining how it's set up. So the data are fed from the general ledger, budget, and master data. Python does all the calculations and it's got controls, it's deterministic and auditable, and then Gen AI is applied, and it's applied in a very strict way. And then finance review. And then if I talk a little bit about the prompting and the Gen AI prompting, so we have to be very careful that we just use 20% of Gen AI in terms of prompting. 80% of the data structure we feed to the LLM, and then we just ask for 20% prompting. And Gen AI, as everybody knows, tends to hallucinate, so you really have to have strict guardrails. So the prompt architecture is, saying you're a financial controller, starting with the largest drivers, classification, and then the hard guardrails are never calculate variance percentages, never classify spend, never determine materiality. That will all be done by the Python code, the deterministic part. And all of this avoids hallucinations. So for the Google's ad, here's information that would be fed to the LLM. So you'll get the exact numbers over here in the output commentary. This system can be lead to agentic AI. So we're layer 1. We've passed with the deterministic Python code. Layer 2 is adding in the generative narrative, and then layer 3 is where you would have an agentic system, and you would have controls like this built in, where certain spends would have to be escalated to the CFO, certain would be routed to the controller, and then rules about what the agent cannot do: approve any financial spend, classify certain expenses, or post accruals, for example. So the roadmap then is basically phase 1 with this tool, where it's totally human supervised. And then phase 2 in 6 months is where the only thing that's checked are exception accounts that are more complicated. And then maybe 12 to 18 months, it could have agentic analyst built onto it. If you're interested in talking more about this, please get in touch.